Hello everybody, Grumbles here with my initial thoughts on the Dune Awakening open beta weekend. Here's the TLDR. I had a ton of fun, the immersion is truly great. Limited beta content stated as Act 1 in the first 20 hours, this was, in my view, a very successful showcase. Now with the TLDR out of the way and all of those folks with Flight of Fancy gone, here's the full disclosure. Firstly, Funcom provided me with a key for the open beta, which of course had no price in any case, unless you had pre-ordered the game, which also gave you access to the open beta, albeit a little bit late in the day on that one. I'm not at the time of recording this a member of the Funcom Creator Program or affiliated with them in any way, and this video is not sponsored. Let us continue. At the time of recording this video, I have played 13 hours in the open beta. First, let's talk about the graphics. Simply put, this world looks amazing, and visually I feel like I was on Arrakis. The landscape and detail, including smoke and sand effects, are really good. The vast majority of animations feel slick and believable, with only a handful of elements that put you in a, well, it's a video game after all, kind of moment. An example of this would be the lack of motion capture for voice-acted NPCs within the world, though as you'd expect, this was notably better for animated cutscenes. What makes up for that, however, are the voiceovers and dialogue, which leads me nicely into the soundscape of the game. Dune Awakening is absolutely fantastic when it comes to the sound design and implementation, and when coupled with the graphics, makes this a genuinely immersive experience. I found myself at times just standing out in the world with the HUD off, admiring the world and contemplating giant sandworm movements, and my planning how to get to the next objective. As somebody who enjoys roleplay in video games, I can tell you I am super excited at the prospect of RP in this setting. Let's hope they let us have some private servers, eh? Now on to the lore. Whilst I'm in no way a Dune expert, from my casual knowledge of the world, the feeling I took from the game content was that it is a good representation of the lore, without any sense that you are being force-fed excessively. Funcom, in my view, have taken lessons from Conan Exiles and incorporated a balance of lore which the player can opt to lean into, whilst also including specific game progression moments, called trials, and skill progression content which draws the player into the world further, without bashing them over the head with it. If you're deeper into the lore, let me know in the comments what your experience of the game content was like. Alright, let's talk about gameplay. The game ran smoothly for me on a mid-range i7 and GTX 3070 standard, with very few stutters or lag moments, including playing in a party, where there were no significant desync issues during my playtime and no game crashes. I did experience some minor bugs, such as a short period where my Cuttery mining device would not aim at rocks correctly, but this resolved itself a short while later without a restart. In general, all of the game's mechanics, the inventory management, tools, weapons and skills worked as expected and were effective. One gripe I had with the tools is, why so many different items, or perhaps rather, why do we need to equip so many different tools for specific tasks, which regularly occur in the game? My idea here would be to have more contextual options and keybinds for some of the actions. Most notably, collecting blood from downed opponents could be an alternate keybind to looting a corpse, so that they didn't need to switch tools whilst hovering over bodies and use multiple keys and mouse clicks to accomplish the required tasks. I would add that this wasn't something which made me want to stop playing, more of a quality of life issue. Character skill progression is easy to get a grasp on, with clear tooltips and the possibility to spec into multiple classes, with some progression linked to meeting and winning the favor of in-game NPCs. including higher level skill unlocks for your chosen class, which is an interesting twist and one I'm okay with, as it means you'll progress in the world and with the lore, rather than simply just gathering 1000 more fiber to gain skill points. Combat felt okay with the occasional moment of, that's not where I was aiming my knife. The AI enemy NPCs were generally okay with a few moments of, wait, why did they stop following me? Which I'd expect might be tightened up with a bit more feedback from the beta. I did encounter an issue, I think, with one of the Bene Gesserit skills called Stop, not working in combat, something for me to provide feedbacks to the devs on. So, were there any major negatives, I hear you ask? I didn't personally like the turning animation of the sandbikes, and the initial experience of needing water was a mild concern for someone still suffering PTSD from Atlas vitamins. However, once you progress to having a sickle for water harvesting and invest in a good still suit, this is no longer an issue and actually feels rewarding to make it that far. Managing backpack inventory was fairly intuitive, albeit a bane for me in literally any game I play, as I'm an accidental hoarder. You have the option of storage at base and on your vehicles, which helps a lot. As this video encompasses initial thoughts hot off the beta weekend, there might well be things which come up further down the line or at launch, but truly that's about it for now on the negatives. In summary, immersion was fantastic, both visuals and sound design. Performance was good, lore felt accurate and on point for the game's context and needs. Voice acting and dialogue were very good. Some minor bugs and quality of life issues, none of which deterred significantly from having fun. 11 out of 10 would let a giant sandworm eat me again. Twice. Thanks everybody, good vibes be with you. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please remember to click the like button and subscribe, share the video with your friends, family, loved ones, next door neighbors, their pets, anybody really. Alright, ta-ta for now.